I don't know if you guys knew, but about 12 people from the age group of 15 to 24 will be committing suicide today. That's an average of about a suicide every 2 hours. And in college, suicide is the second leading cause of death among students. And I'd like to show you guys a video of how it's affecting us and how real this situation really is. So with this video, you see a few people that jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, plummeting to their death about 700 plus feet. And basically, to me, that shows how real this is, that it's affecting everyone out there, from all age groups. And being that we're young, it's something that we should take action on helping each other. Personally, my senior year of high school, I had become friends with one of my brother's co-workers, and we had been going out to parties, going out just to go play sports and whatnot, and I noticed that, he was acting a bit strange for about 2 weeks, and I never bothered to ask what exactly was going on with him. And, next thing I stopped hearing from him, my brother told me that he ended up shooting himself. And I never took action of asking why he did it or what exactly was going on with him. So today I'd like to explain to you the importance of suicide awareness to help us prevent it in the future. In the speech, I'm going to be discussing 3 main points. And the first, I will inform you on the 2 leading causes of suicide, followed by a discussion of how to prevent suicide. Okay, so according to suicidology.org, people commit suicide for different reasons, and the main 2 reasons for the age group of 15 to 24 years old are stress and depression. Depression is a mental health condition that affects everyone, and according to Johns Hopkins University, depression is an illness that affects every part of the body. And some examples of people suffering from depression in the past is President Abraham Lincoln, TV star Ellen DeGeneres, and musician Ray Charles. They've all suffered from depression. And depression can be caused by experiencing a traumatic event such as being raped, or family problems, heartbreaks, and deaths in the family. And according to suicidology.org as well, a family history of depression increases the chances of being depressed on a child by 11 times. Depression requires treatment, and if left untreated, it can cause dangerous behaviors such as substance abuse, loss of appetite, and sleep deprivation. Secondly, the leading cause of stress, the second leading cause of suicide is stress. By failing academically, as in this speech or your midterm or any other things, financial problems, and having a lot on our plate. As college students, we usually balance, work, school, social life, and try to, do everything all at once, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. Just like depression, stress, if left untreated, can lead to a whole lot of problems: anxiety, high blood pressure, health problems, and eventually leading to suicidal thoughts and actually taking the action of suicide. Everyone at one point in their life feels as if the world is falling down on them. At one point we all feel down on ourselves, whether it's because of work, stress, or any problem around us. According to George E. Murphy, a professor of psychiatry at Washington University, women are 2 times more likely to attempt suicide than men, but men are 5 times more likely to actually commit suicide. And this is because women process their experiences with friends, they discuss their feelings, seek feedback, and take advice, while us men we try to, you know, bottle things up. We don't like to tell anyone our problems, you know, maybe because we think that we're being macho, or, you know, because of our ego, or just the fact that we're men, we can't speak out and actually explain our feelings to everyone. Moving on to some steps that we can take to prevent suicide. According to Counseling and Psychological Services, there's some warning signs that include the loss of interest in usual activities, the fact that, you know, people start acting a bit different, you know, they're not themselves, they don't eat, you know, you see rapid weight loss or rapid gain of weight. In my personal experience, I noticed that for the last few weeks, you know, my friend was really acting weird. You know, I would, you know, basically call him up on the weekend and say like, hey, you know, we're going to a party this week, and he'd just blow me off, or he wouldn't answer. And, you know, eventually I didn't know that he was actually feeling down due to family problems. After realizing some of the warning signs, it's important to take action and prevent further development by correcting them. You know, by speaking to them, by, you know, giving them a helping hand and a listening ear, we can help prevent all this. There's a lot of suicide prevention programs that have been placed to expand our awareness. The University of Connecticut did a research study that almost every school in the United States offers counseling, therapy, and other ways that we can help us students, you know, basically to help us speak our emotions instead of holding them in and, you know, eventually committing suicide. There's also some hotlines that you can call and immediately have someone listen to you, such as 1-800-SUICIDE. And that's important because sometimes when, you know, people are contemplating committing suicide, it's the fact that they don't have nobody to talk to, that they can't express themselves, and they can't go on with life as it is, so they just need some sort of outlet. And in conclusion, depression and stress are the two leading causes of suicide among our age group, and it is the second most, in college, it's the second leading cause for people like us, like our deaths. It's not drinking, it's not, you know, drunk driving and all these other things. It's the fact that, you know, there's people on this campus that might be feeling down and eventually, you know, commit suicide, and we can be there to help them and offer our help to them. So if you ever notice that someone's feeling a bit down or they're acting unusual, you know, speak out to them and look for the warning signs and take action to save a life. And if you yourself are at one point, you know, feeling blue or, you know, contemplating suicide or having suicidal thoughts, you should seek help because there is tons of help for us. And that's all. Thank you.
What's the time?
8.
Claudia, what did you think? Claudia's not here, okay. I thought you had a good dramatic statistic to start the speech. It identifies the topic well. You've got the video clip that you also use. That's the only visual you have in the presentation. It is pretty dramatic. I thought it was queued up effectively. I think you might give us a little bit of a heads up when it's coming on, because it is kind of disturbing to think that we're watching real human beings kill themselves. And I think I might have appreciated, like I said, just a little bit of heads up about what was coming. You know, it's hard. It's harsh when we realize that that's what we're, you know, this is not some video recreation or something, but this is supposed to be real. Then that's a disturbing thought. I think there are a couple of other places where you could have used some other visual materials. For instance, when you talked about the warning signs, to me that seemed like it would be a good place to maybe give us a checklist of things to be paying attention to, or, you know, actually making little signs that, you know, attention here, you know, using the road sign structures or something for things that we ought to be looking for. I did appreciate the personal touch that you put on it with your friend. I thought that helped make it a lot more interesting. You did a very good job citing information during the speech, very consistent about that, talking about the causes of suicide. I think you needed to talk a little bit more about the causes of suicide, particular in college students, and maybe some more examples would make it a little bit more compelling. It sounded a little bit less clinical and a little bit more animated, and something that people will be interested in. I thought you did a very nice job speaking to the audience. The vast majority of the time you're not really referring to your notes, which makes the presence of that big piece of paper that's folded in half so annoying, and you keep rattling it around while you're there. I think if you didn't need it that much, you'd have been fine with a single card that had maybe a couple of the points on it, because you seem to have remembered most of the data and the quotes pretty effectively without having to read them off. So I'm not sure, it seems like it's just a crutch for you at the end of the speech. All right, thank you very much. Let me turn this off for